I'd like to call this meeting to order. My name is Ken Gilbert. I am the Deputy Mayor of the City of St. Cloud. My appointment as to represent Osceola County on this board was approved yesterday. With that, I have the privilege of chairing this board for 2026 and today's meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Pat Bates to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank everybody who's joined us for today's meeting. I want to remind all members that this meeting and all future meetings are held in person and it is important for all members to be here in order for us to have a quorum. Members of the public are still able to participate virtually, and we encourage them to do so. I'd also ask the members to turn on your microphone, like I didn't, before speaking, and deactivate it after your remarks. This will help ensure that everyone is able to be heard by those in the room and online. Since this is my first meeting, with your indulgence, instead of normal roll call, I'd like to go around the table and have each member introduce themselves and tell us who they're representing. This will help me get to know your names and also help me with pronunciations. Staff, can you confirm that a quorum present based on the self-introduction? Is that okay?
No problem.
Okay, thank you. Let's get started to my right, if we could.
I'm Betsy Delano, and I'm representing the medical community.
Good morning. My name is Calvin Smith. I'm representing the Agency of Healthcare Administration.
Good morning. I'm Bob Melia. I work for Orlando Health, and I am a user.
Good morning. I'm Joe Santiago Mercer, and I'm with the Florida Department of Transportation.
Good morning. I'm Tim Timmerman, representing Osceola Council on Aging.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Jensen. I'm here with Orange County Office of the Medical Director, EMS.
Good morning, Luis Nieves Priest, and I'm with the Storm Rail Customer Advisory Committee.
My name is Zena Underwood. I'm a member of the community, and my son rides Access Links.
Persons with disabilities, and I'm standing in for Jeanette Estes.
Morning, I'm Kim Fry, the Director of Mobility Services for Access Links, or Links.
Good morning, my name is Sharon Wright, and I'm with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation.
Good morning, my name is Alnita Witt, and I'm representing Veteran Services.
Good morning, my name is Yvette Reyes, and I'm with Orange County Community and Family Services Department, overseeing social service programs.
Good morning, I'm Tashara Cooper, a Seminole County resident, also a paratransit user.
Good morning, my name is Angela Hunter, representing Career Source Central Florida, alternate for Janae Olds.
Thank you. Am I on?
Yep. Yes, you're on.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Marilyn Baldwin, and I represent Citizens with Disabilities for Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties.
Good morning, Mr. Gilbert. Nika Berry. I'm a citizen advocate, non-user.
Pat Bates. I am mayor of the city of Altamont Springs.
Thank you, everybody. No quiz after, but I will work very hard. I got a cheat sheet and I'll get your names. So I appreciate that. Miss Virginia, do you have anything for us for agenda review and announcements?
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Welcome. And I'm going to just let Rachel will introduce herself when she confirms that there's a quorum. But I do want to say thank you and welcome to all of our new members. Starting with Council Member or Deputy Mayor Gilbert, who was just appointed as the chair on yesterday by the Metro Plan Board. We had an opportunity to conduct his orientation And we have also conducted orientation for Ms. Jennifer Jensen and Amanda Freeman. Is that correct? Her alternate, Amanda Freeman. And we got our letter on yesterday for Ms. Sharon Wright, who is here, and we'll be conducting her orientation as soon as we can get that on the calendar. So I wanted to say thank you to all of you for being here today. Also, I want to introduce a new staff member, Ms. Natalia Barbaro. She is joining Metro Plan Orlando. This is her 4th day here at Metro Plan, and she is joining our planning team. I want to say thank you also to the QATF Quality Assurance Task Force members. And for those of you who are new, we will fumble over these as the acronyms roll around in our head, at least for the first meeting. And then you will be fluent in acronym as well. But the Quality Assurance Task Force was scheduled to meet the end of January. They had to cancel that meeting due to not meeting quorum, but I conducted a series of one-on-one briefings with each of them, so they were able to be briefed on the information that is before you, and the recommendations that are coming from them to you are in your agendas today. They will also be staying afterwards for a brief meeting, as one of the items on that agenda was that they were to elect their 2026 chair. And so they will have a meeting that has been posted, and they'll be staying after just for about 5 or 10 minutes. Chair and members, there are a couple of changes that we had omitted but have been added to your agenda. Items F and G were inadvertently omitted from the agenda when it originally went out. They have been added, but with your permission, I would ask that we entertain F and G and then come back to E, because E has a presentation. So if that is okay with this committee, we will do that. And that presentation is the CTC evaluation and the decision you'll have to make. And now we have a safety moment that is coming from Mr. Mike Wilson, which he comes each meeting. And then after that, Rachel will confirm that we do have a quorum. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Virginia. Good morning, board members. We're going to cover rail crossing safety this time around for our safety moment. And starting off with a little video from the folks at Sunrail. I think I probably don't need to elaborate on that very much, other than say, don't do that. And but we always like to, on our safety moments, give you a little bit of data to put things in context. And when it comes to rail crossings, we get the crash reports through the statewide crash database. So we have that for motor vehicles. But when it comes to non-motorists, a pedestrian or a bicyclist that's involved with a train, those don't show up as crash reports. We actually have to get that information directly from Sunrail. And so that's what we have here for the 5 years that we covered during our Vision Zero plan. So you see 4 fatalities involving motor vehicles at crossings, and another crashes with 4 serious injuries. 19 pedestrian fatalities, 8 serious injuries. Of those, 11 were confirmed or assumed to be suicides. And about a third of those happened at crossings versus 2/3 away from crossings, away from intersections. So a couple of things that the Sunrail folks wanted us to focus on when it comes to rail safety is, first off, what's called the dynamic envelope. You see those crosses, those X's in front and behind the tracks when you're at the crossing, that's highlighted in yellow there. Basically, the rule is if your car can't clear that zone, then do not cross the stop bar, irrespective of what's going on with the gates. You don't want your vehicle hanging over the tracks or even near the tracks when those gates come down. And then, we all can do our part to help to keep the whole system safe by reporting issues that we see to Sunrail. At every crossing, there's this blue and white sign with the phone number and location code so that you can contact them and report any issues that you see along the corridor. So that concludes my safety moment for this meeting.
Thank you. I look at railroads differently now when I look at the envelope and a great presentation. I found out yesterday, but could you let the folks know how that unique name is spelled? Mike?
All right. In my prior career in graphic arts, went to art school many years ago, and signing M-I-K-E Wilson to illustrations just looked a little bland, and so I had to spice it up a little bit.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Rachel, do we have a quorum?
I do confirm we do have a quorum, and I will introduce myself. My name is Rachel Frederick. I'm Board Services Coordinator here at Metroplan Orlando. And I'm the person who will send you your emails, your agendas, harass you about attendance, and anything else that you need from us, reach out to me and I can certainly find you an answer or help you as best I can. And Miss Virginia has asked me just to give you a quick overview for those who might need some extra guidance on the screens in front of you. So on the small screen in front of you, you do have access to your agenda and also to be able to see what's on the screen also. You may all be at different points on your screen at the moment, but the very small square on the right-hand side of the screen, if you press that, that's almost like the back button. If you press that until you come to two options saying paperless and VOD, paperless will take you to your agendas. If you press on the remote button, you have to give it 10 seconds or so, and it will load the agenda you're looking for. On the top left, there's a back button that will take you back to your paperless and your VOD screen. If you press the video on demand, that will show you a bank of screens. Press the first one top left, HDMI, and that will show you the screen that is currently on the walls also. That's a quick overview. I will come around with some instructions if that will help anybody. And any questions afterwards, just reach out. And we do have a quorum. We can move on.
Thank you very much, Rachel. We are now at public comments. This is the first of two opportunities for public comments. Public comments on action items are heard at the beginning of this meeting before action is taken, and general comments will be heard near the end. Comments may be made in person or online by those joining us via Zoom. People wishing to comment must complete a speaker introduction card. Each speaker is limited to 2 minutes. Members of the public joining us virtually who wish to speak will use the raise their hands feature on the Zoom screen. If attending by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand and request to be recognized. When you are called, staff will unmute your microphone and will ask you to state your name and contact information for the record. Rachel, is there anyone online wishing to comment on action items?
We have no hands raised online.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak in person?
No comments received.
Thank you. So we can move on to our action items. Today we have 7. And Ms. Whittington, you are listed as a presenter for all of them. We're excited.
See, I told you.
You are recognized to present the first, which is the conduct of election of our 2026 chairperson.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. It is required that at our first meeting of the year, that a vice chairman for this group would be elected. Unlike some of the other LCBs, local coordinating boards around the state, since ours is 3 counties, we have 3 elected officials who serve, 1 for each county. And therefore, the vice chair must be one of those elected officials. And there has been a rotation that has been respected for a number of years, where it is 1 county would sit out. Mayor Pat Bates is the immediate past chair. She represents Seminole County. Commissioner Myra Uribe is the representative for Orange County, and Deputy Mayor Gilbert is our chair as appointed by the Metro Plan Board. So the order is that the vice chair will be nominated from Orange County. And with that, Mr. Chair and members, we will entertain a nomination.
Well, it's nice to nominate somebody who's not here. um, because they're getting it anyway. So yes, I would love to nominate Commissioner Uribe for vice chair.
Is there a second to that nomination?
I second.
Okay. And only because of Robert's Rules of Order, can we have a motion to move that nominations cease?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of moving the nomination cease, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Okay, and we are back on the main motion, which is the nomination of Myra Uribe as vice chair for 2026. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. And we will all congratulate her once she arrives. Let her know that she is the 2026 vice chair. Thank you all for that. Mr. Chair, is it okay if I continue? Okay, in your agendas, also in section 1, we are required annually to adopt bylaws. Most times these bylaws continue to roll over, but this time there were some changes that I would like to call to your attention, and our vice chair just arrived. So congratulations. Vice Chair Uribe, thank you so much for your willingness to serve. So we are at the bylaws. I just want to call attention to the redlined version that is in your agendas. On page 1, line 26, the word administrative, there was a typo there, so that is just a correction of a typo. Page 2, between lines 63 and 73, this is on line 65, alternates for the Transportation Disadvantaged Local Coordinating Board member who cannot attend must be represented from the same interest as the designated. So we've added the word designated primary member there. They don't have the line version. You don't have the line version. Oh, but do you have a version? And it does not have the, oh, okay. So can we get, do we want to get aligned sections? Section 2. We have such smart members here. I love it. Section 2, alternates on page 2, section 2, alternate members. That number 1, the existing number 1 that says each alternate may vote only in the absence of the member on a 1 vote per member basis. That number is being reordered to number 3. Okay, so it's not going to change, it's just being reordered. The new number 1, second line, the word designated is being inserted in front of primary member. So the new sentence reads, alternates for a TDLCB member who cannot attend a meeting must be a representative of the same interest as the designated primary member. We're inserting a new number 2, and that sentence reads, an alternate member may represent the designated primary member for no more than 50% of the regularly scheduled meetings within a calendar year. Attendance by an alternate beyond this threshold shall be subject to review by the planning agency and may result in reconsideration of the primary member's appointment. Rachel, you are wonderful. And this is now on the screens for those who want to follow along. So we moving on, the new number 3 is the number 1. And the new number 4 gives a definition that states for the purposes of these bylaws, regularly scheduled meetings shall mean meetings adopted on the TDLCB annual meeting calendar and shall not include special, emergency, or workshop only meetings. And so I will pause there, Mr. Chair, if it's okay to ask if there are any questions. So
Yes. Does anybody have any questions for Ms.
I do.
Winnington?
Where it says does not include special, emergency, or workshop only, are any of those considered if you just need to change the date of the meeting? Because people can't be here. We had that last year, and I just want to make sure that it's still there somewhere under special, or how do you, because we have had to change meeting dates.
correct. And thank you for raising that question. In those instances, that would still be considered a regularly scheduled meeting. Okay, is it okay to move on? Okay. On page 2, under section 3, the second paragraph beginning there, we are striking number 2, the chair or other elected designee from the Links Transit Advisory Committee. That committee no longer exists, so we have removed it from your bylaws. Moving on to the next change, recommended change, which is on page 3, under Article 4, Officers and Duties, Section 2, line 3, about midway, we are adding the letters TDLCB. So that new sentence reads, the chairperson shall preside at all TDLCB meetings. Everything else remains the same. Same page 3, section 3, very last sentence now reads, in the absence of all TDLCB elected officials, the chairperson of the Quality Assurance Task Force, should be another word in there, shall conduct the meeting provided a quorum has been reached. So the Quality Assurance Task Force chairperson chairs this body in the event that all 3 elected officials are unable to attend.
I have a question. You're adding the word provided a quorum has been reached, but wouldn't it be appropriate, even if there isn't a quorum, that they could still meet and go over presentations, but they just can't vote because a quorum's required to be able to vote? But because that's making me think, if they don't have a quorum and you've got half the group here, everybody just leaves?
Yes.
Okay, no, because I mean I've been in a lot of meetings where we don't have a quorum, but we still get to go through the presentations, we get updates, things like that. We just can't vote. And I would hate for people to come, we're short one, and you don't have a meeting at all. So I don't know why we have to say a quorum has been met, because we know without a quorum you can't vote. So
you're right, and I'm pausing in my mind because I believe that is someplace else. It's noted someplace else that under quorum here, at all meetings of the TDLCB, and I'm on page 4, about halfway through, the presence of an in-person, the presence in person of a majority of the voting members shall be necessary and sufficient to constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. In situations where a quorum is not obtained, the members present may elect to either cancel the meeting and reschedule, that's number 1, or continue to meet, discuss agenda items for informational purposes. So that is applicable in the former. I can add a C if that feels better. I can add another.
yeah, I mean, I chair a state board, right?
Yes.
So they come from all of Florida, and we were short one person. So you imagine I had people from Tallahassee, Miami and everything. And I'm like, oh, well, everybody go home, you know? So, and there's still knowledge to be gained, even if they can't vote,
Sure.
especially with
happy-
access links and that kind of stuff, which is always something we want to be on top of. So I would venture to say to not add a quorum is required. Or even, I'm comfortable with the language you said, if they decide, you know what, it's fine, let's go ahead and we're here. But I don't think we should make it to only if a quorum is in place.
Striking those words to make it very simple. Thank you.
Okay.
If that's the pleasure of this body, I'm happy to do that. Absolutely. I see heads nodding.
Yeah.
So we'll strike the insert there. Thank you. Thank you for that. And moving on to page 4, section 1, we're adding a paragraph that is consistent with all other Metro Plan Orlando boards and committees. In the event of a declared emergency or other extenuating circumstances that limit in-person attendance, the TDLCB chairperson, in consultation with the planning agency, may authorize a meeting to be conducted fully virtually, notwithstanding the in-person quorum requirement, provided all notice, access, quorum, voting, and public participation requirements under Florida law are met. That is lifted directly out of Metro Plan Orlando and the other committees' bylaws. And I believe, Mr. Chair, that is the final change. And with your permission, I would request that if there are no questions, that we adopt
Does
these.
anybody else have any more questions for Ms. Wingham on this topic? No. Is there a motion to approve with the changes made?
You're reading?
Second?
Second, Bates.
And do we need to state with the necessary change, with the necessary correction?
I'll amend my motion. Motion for approval with set changes.
Thank you.
Second that.
And Bates with
Is there any further discussion? It has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion is approved.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Moving on, if it's okay, to item C, which is the approval of the TDLCB grievance procedures. This is found in section 2. Once again, this is an annual requirement and there were no recommended changes to that procedure. So we request approval by this board.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Wingham on this grievance procedure? Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on this item? It has been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is approved.
Okay, all right, I'm moving right along. We are at item D, approval of the Quality Assurance Task Force and Grievance Committee members. Again, this is an annual requirement that we appoint members to these two subcommittees. These are at section 3 in your agendas. And for those who are joining us, we have recommended Ms. Marilyn Baldwin, Ms. Betsy Delano, Ms. Charlotte Campbell, Mr. Bob Melia, Ms. Nika Berry, and Mr. Adam Zabritsky to serve on the Quality Assurance Task Force. And on the Grievance Committee, Mr. Calvin Smith, Ms. Yvette Reyes, Ms. Jeanette Olds, Ms. Alnita Witt, Mr. Adam Zabritsky, and Ms. Nika Berry. Those are the recommendations, Mr. Chair.
Move approval as stated.
Second, Uribe.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, and this is where we have the reorder. With your permission, we would ask for approval of the November 13th meeting minutes.
Any questions for Ms. Wingham on the approval of the November 13th, 2025 meeting minutes? If there isn't, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Bates.
And a second.
Second.
Any other discussions? It has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Thank you. And the item G, acknowledgement of the summary of public meeting comments that were received at your public meeting that was held on November 13th. They are also in your agendas at section 5, and we request your acknowledgement today.
Any additional questions on this motion? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Uribe.
Second,
Second, Bates.
any discussion? It has been properly moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Okay, so for this one, I'm going to come around to the podium. Okay, as the presentation comes up here, by way of reminder, after we, another task that this board is tasked with by state law is to evaluate the service of the community transportation coordinator. You're required to do that by law every year. At the end of the evaluation last year, several members asked if we are able to change, enhance, evaluate the evaluation tool. And so we sent out the request and asked for your recommendations. And today we're here to make a presentation of staff recommendation as well as some feedback that we received when we shared this with the Quality Assurance Task Force members. So for, again, we are required to evaluate the CTC each year. The areas that you evaluate them on is coordination, and under coordination is operations and administrative. You evaluate them on cost effectiveness and efficiency. You evaluate them on their local performance measures that you set by their transportation systems development plan. And under that is on-time performance, call hold time, and complaints and compliments. The other area is availability, which covers demand, customer service, accessibility, public awareness, and then finally, you have an overall evaluation. Currently, the scoring structure has been what I have classified as compressed, where you evaluate on a 5 to 0. 5 exceeds, 3 meets, 1 is below, and then 0 is unacceptable. And that is applied to coordination, cost effectiveness, and overall. But under local performance measures and availability, those are evaluated at satisfactory, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory. So that is the current model. So in looking at this, staff is recommending that we go to a 5-point expanded rating for all of the criteria. So they will, each will be rated based on that same evaluation measures. And then we did have an additional recommendation that came. So just to put these side by side, the compressed scoring, again, on the left here is 2-tiered, 2 different rating scales. On the right is the 1 tier for all, or 1 rating scale for all. Could be 5 being exemplary. And I use that word could be because there was some conversation as we presented this to the Quality Assurance Task Force members that, we may remove those words or come up with some different ones. So we have some recommendations for you. So 5 would be exemplary, 4 would be strong, 3 meets standards, 1 needs improvement, and 2 needs improvement, 1 is unsatisfactory. And in both of these, there would be an non-applicable category that would also be there. And we really hope that you would not use that, because what we found in past evaluations is that if you're not aware, then you just Christmas tree it, not you, but previously, your Christmas tree with NA. But we're wanting to give you the tools that you can use so that that NA is less applicable, okay? All right. This is a QATF member recommendation that came as we were meeting with them. They recommended a possible 10-point scale, from 1 being lowest, 10 being highest, no definitions of what that is, just 1 to 10. Similar to if you go and you have an interaction, you can do the smiley face or the frowning face, kind of sort of. That's the way I took away from that. So at this point, I'm going to leave it there and ask if there are any questions before I take us through the next piece. And what the next piece is I have a series of questions that'll help us get to where you need to be. Any questions so far? Okay. So the first question we need to answer is, should the scoring be applied across all criteria? And if that is your wish, then the next thing we need to do is find out if it should be compressed 5 to 0, keeping it as is, or adopt the expanded. And then finally, if expanded, would it be 5 to 1 or 1 to 10? That's where we're trying to get to. So the first question that we need to answer is whether it should apply the scoring criteria, if whichever it is, should be applied across all.
Any questions or comments?
Bob, I think I see you.
Yeah. Uniform for all questions.
All right. I'm seeing nodding heads. Yes, across all. Across all. Okay. And now the next question is, do we keep it compressed or do we use one of the expanded? Adam, I see your light, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Mr. Ed.
Zabritsky, thanks. So what's hard for me to kind of understand, maybe others too, what's the difference between needs improvement and unsatisfactory? If something is unsatisfactory, then it needs improvement. So what would say when I would pick one category versus another? So if you go to something, even if it's 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, you come out of a movie. How was the movie? Rate it on a 1 to 10. If you go to a restaurant, how was the food? You rate it on a 1 to 10. Most people can do that. They can say, that's about a 6, or that's an 8, or that's a 10. It was perfect. It makes it easier, maybe, to think about the different levels. Each one is 10% higher than the next one, or the previous one, or 20% higher than the previous one.
Any more comments? Any questions?
Yeah, I would like to agree with Adam. I think going with 1 through 10 without any verbiage just gives you a sense of at least as a user, and what I hear from my patients, you can gauge where it is on the scale, and you don't even have to put the frown face or the smiley face like we do in the hospital. Just have the 1 through 10 and go from there.
Anybody else would like to comment on this? Is everybody okay with this 1 to 10 scale?
Can I just ask I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I want to follow up to the point of needs improvement in the scale. Is there a theory that at a certain number, it is assumed that needs improvement? Because obviously, one, you're saying you're great, you're exceeding expectation. Two is still pretty good. Is it anything above 4? You know, at what point you want to make sure that we have an understanding, so when somebody's doing the survey, if it's anything, you know, higher than 4, then clearly there's an issue going on, or higher than 5. Is there somewhere we can agree on? Because unless they say 10, are we just going to assume that 9 and up is okay? So I'm just trying to get a point of clarity of where, when we evaluate this, where are we going to say we need to draw more attention, or we're clearly seeing a pattern, you know? Because if we're going to go ahead and not agree to needs improvement, where do you all feel comfortable that we need to dive deeper? Is there a certain threshold of expectation? That's my only thought. Because all of us can interpret something differently. To me, you know, anything beyond a 3 needs improvement, you know, because that means something happened, or there's been an experience or something. But he could say, well, if it's 6 or you know, less, I'm good with that. So can we set a threshold of expectation so that when we evaluate this, we're all on the same page of clearly, you know, we're seeing a 6 on this. Is it because it's not a continual problem? It's a, you know, hit or miss problem, you know, where we can have a real dialogue so that we all know how we want to proceed forward with suggestions and recommendations.
Mr. Chair?
Just one comment, would, is 1 being the best or 10 being the best?
On the 1 to 10, it's 10 being
So 10
highest,
being the
1
best.
being.
So any,
You know,
Right.
I knew what you're saying. I just wanted to get
Yeah.
through it. So I guess what we're talking about is anything past a 3 need attention.
Well, if everybody feels comfortable, if they think it's more of a 4, you know, can we get to somewhere where we agree that anything higher than a 4 or a 3, you know, excuse me, lower, excuse me, yeah, sorry, yeah.
So Mr. Chair, if I may, my next couple of slides may help, whether it's the 1 to 10 or the 5 to 1. Because it was staff's recommendation to go with the expanded scoring, which was obviously where this board wanted to get coming out of the last evaluation. I took a stab at kind of putting some definitions to some of these, to where if it's 5, exemplary, excellent, I don't know what you want to call it, that these are some of the things that you would look at. That performance is consistently strong, it's reliable. The evidence shows that there is sustained quality and improvement in all of the areas. So an exemplary would be that you didn't have calls for people who were stranded, or people who, well, we don't get stranded. We don't strand people here. But you know, your call hold time has significantly improved and they are blowing it out the water. Rider experience aligns with the matrix. If it is strong, that the performance exceeds minimum standards, there are some gaps, but we know that they're tweaking, they're working, the systems work well, and then meet stand. And this is just the 5 to 3. There's some 2 and 1, but I needed to flesh out where you all are with this before fully introducing it. We could get some more work on this if you wanted to expand this to 10, but we were kind of keeping it on the 1 to 5. Bottom line is we would give you a rubric that you would use to determine whether something is excellent or exemplary or extraordinary or superior or, and, you know, intergalactic, is that a word? Universally.
May I ask a question?
I have a question. My only thing with the 1 through 10, aren't we going to be all over the place?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have 3 2s and 4 3s, and yeah, I think it's going to be more complicated for you all to try to figure out where we are, because 1 through 10 is, we can be all over the place with that. That's my only concern about 1 through 10. The scale's great, but I just foresee every one of us here are probably going to be different in our ratings, and I don't know what that does for you all trying to figure that out.
Well, technology is wonderful, and it will get us a really good average because we would average each of them to get And Mr. Chair, you have hands.
Go ahead.
We're talking about a small group. This isn't thousands. This is 20 at most, correct? So, I mean, less than that. So we're talking about averages. If it's a 3.3 on, a question, you understand where it is. If it's a 6.9, you understand where it is. It's not a giant response to these questions. I would just say go with it, and you look at the numbers, what they may be at the end, and you say, oh well, this area probably needs improvement because it's much lower than the rest of the 8s and 9s on the other questions.
So to recap, you're looking at going to 1 to 10 scale, correct? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's just easier. I mean, everyone does a 1 through 10, they do it in competitions, they do it, customer service. I think this would just be easier. You have a gut feeling of what you hear, what you see, what your clients are telling you. You put the answer down, and then you have a small group here that you add them all up, divide by that number, you have the number, and you have an idea of how the CDC is doing on that question.
Ms. Baldwin, you had a question?
Comment. I'm more comfortable with the 1 to 5. I think 1 to 10 is just too large of a range. But that's me.
Thank you. Any other comments from the women? Let's see, lights on.
I prefer the 1 through 5. I feel like that's more specific. The 1 through 10 just gives way too much left for interpretation.
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
That's okay. Angela Hunter. In the world that we live in, technology and everything, we have 5-star restaurants. We have 5 stars if we're going to approve an experience online in most cases. There's not usually 10. I understand 1 to 10, grew up in 1 to 10, get that. I'm always 10 plus, I get it. But the 1 to 5, I think it more defines where we are. The 1 to 10 is great, no problem there. But I think it's a little too broad. The more choices you give people, the more choices people are going to take. And there's too much fluctuation with that. That's how I see it.
Thank you. Ms. Whittingham, do you think we could do by raise of hands if we want to use the 1 through 5 versus the 1 through 10 system? Because it looks like we've got some on both ends.
However you would like to proceed, Mr. Chair.
Board, would it be okay if we did a raise of hands 1 through 5 and then a raise of hands of 1 through 10? And then whichever majority we can go with that. Would that be okay, board? Is the board okay with that? All right, raise your hands if you're 1 through 5.
Is that with the rubric, the other side? Not the 1 through 5 with the numbers on the other side. I'm asking, are we saying 1 through 5, the sliding scale with the numbers or with the rubric?
The rubric.
Okay, my hand is up.
Okay. All right. Anybody with 1 through 10, please put your hands up. Looks like we're overwhelming majority of the 1 through 5, Ms. Whittington.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate your participation in this and helping us. Now, the 1 through 5, now the question becomes, do you keep the exemplary, excellent, exceptional, or do you want to just go with the 1 through 5? And then if it's a 1, we know they need improvement. If it's a 5, they're overwhelming. That is now the question. I give you these as examples of where you could go. It could be option 1, which is exemplary, strong, meets standard, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory. Option 2, excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. Number 3, exceptional, exceeds expectations, meets expectations is 3. 2 is needs improvement, and 1 is unacceptable. And then option 4, excellent, good, acceptable, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory. And in each of these, we would be able to give you a rubric that says, this is what it means if you're going here.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on these options? Me personally, I'm looking at 2 or 3, just to keep them normal. I say normal, keep them what most people are looking at. I don't see too many options where they say, hey, is it exemplary? They might say it's excellent. But keeping it
Yeah,
simple
that's what
between
I
option 2 and 3. Does anybody got any comments? What options they would like to see in this?
Can I add, to your point about the unsatisfactory and needs improvement being ambiguous? What if it was needs some improvement? So it's not unsatisfactory. It's clear it's not unsatisfactory, but it needs some improvement. Just a thought.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think option 2 here is, in my opinion, the clearest one, because it just kind of gives very simple definitions, and each one seems to be somewhat of a clear step above the one below it. Whereas the other one, still there's that ambiguity. If you want to do a rubric and you want to keep a number, no more than 5, I understand that. So okay, but we need to be very clear about what the steps are, but not make too many words, because that makes it really hard to evaluate. This is easy. Is it poor? Is it so-so? Is it good? Is it really good? Or is it just no way to improve it? It's just so great.
Yes, please.
So I've read them all, and I think about, I've kind of put myself in this, like where I would be. I'm open to the needs some improvement, because it does, again, go there, but I actually like option 4, because I think I don't like very good, but I like good, because good is, I got what I got kind of situation. Acceptable is like, I'm not a big fan, but I'm using it. It's getting A to B. But I think that, with all honesty, if you're going to love it, you're going to go with 1, right? Or excuse me, 5. But I think the general people, and I will just tell you, as a commissioner who talks to people a lot and have met people and who have actually stopped people as they're getting off at a shopping center and things like that. Knock on wood, I have yet to meet someone who said this was the best ride of my life. It is excellent. It's great. There's always something. And let's be honest, every day isn't the same, And then I'm going to speak personally with my own mom, right? There have been days and there have been drivers that have made the difference. That it's such a broad, this is probably the most non-logistical way of doing this. And if I were to think back, it could be even a driver where I could be one day, they were so great and so gentle with my mom. It was great. But really, I'm all right. And one thing that I get a lot, and I don't know how you all feel about this, is it when I talk to people, they just feel like this is all I got. This is what I got. And we've become kind of accepting of whatever we get, we get. But I want to encourage someone to let us know why they want to see it better, and to let our provider know what could help. But I hate to say it, I've never met anyone who was like, yes, this is awesome. I can't wait to ride it tomorrow. On the contrary, I see people, even when I see them get dropped off at church, it's one of like, it got me here. I'm coming to church because this was available. Do I wish there'd be a better way? Sure, but this is available. So, and I don't think we can ever make it perfect, but we can strive for that dignity feeling and for that opportunity to get better, because again, it's such a personal thing. A driver can make things bad. Somebody with an attitude and your whole, so, and so that's just my opinion of just talking to people, is that this is what we have, it is not, like an Uber driver and all that, you can say that, but this is what we have. And there are circumstances that make us have to use this. So what can we do to better that? And I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but this is very personal to me. And so I'm just explaining how I have felt through it. And I have been angry, over things when my mom got left by accident or whatever. But I knew that they filled the gap that I couldn't do all the time. So, I just want people to kind of think of that because we don't want to put all the blame on just a provider. It's a circumstance. I mean, this is not our preference. It's like when I don't have my car available and I've got to find another means. I'm not excited about that, but it's going to get me to where I need to go. So just a food for thought on really allowing people to really feel open to express that and to see how we could create improvements along the way. So thank you.
To get this right, you were looking at option 4, but some changes in the
The reason why I like option 4 a lot, because number 3 says acceptable. And that is the feeling that I get a lot when I talk to people. This is an acceptable form of me being able to transport and get around. So I think when we get very good and good, we're not dealing with Uber drivers. We're dealing with very specific circumstances that have us having to use this, whether it's visually impaired, physically impaired, just, all of those things. People who are going to medical appointments. I mean, we're not going to Disney every day, that's just all I'm saying. So that's why I like 4. I think it's the most honest one where it's good, if it's not saying, I don't like the word exemplary. I think that's a false word. So, in both ways, I don't like it because 1, I don't want it to cause judgment on someone who doesn't get it because you weren't able to meet that, because there's so many things that could change that. I could be going to a treatment and I had a bad treatment day and boom, this was not an exemplary trip. So I don't think that, but I don't also want to fault or the other way around to the provider because of that, because it's the circumstances that are making us in that day. And I think that 4 is the most honest out of all of them. We're not praising, we're saying it's good, good, acceptable, which I think we might find a lot of people around there just because of the circumstances. And then need some improvement. I don't want to bash them like, whoa. So I'd be open to the word some if it makes you feel better, because we know unsatisfactory is a definite. And some improvement could be the call center, could be the driver's attitude, could be so much. So just my thoughts. Thank
Thank you for your comment.
Here you have one more over here.
I'm sorry.
And members,
Please go ahead.
Members, if you're able to reach your nameplate and turn it up on its side, I think it would help the chair as he scans the room. We neglected to tell you that. So if you want to have a comment, just turn it up on its side and hopefully he'll see it. Turn it up, sit it up the long way if you want to make a comment.
Ms. Jensen, do you have a comment?
Yes, since 4 seems pretty good here, why don't we swap unacceptable with unsatisfactory? So then you have acceptable for number 3 and unacceptable for number 1. I think that's pretty clear. Just my suggestion.
So the options for option 4 would then be 5, excellent, 4, good, 3, acceptable, 2, needs improvement, and 1, unacceptable. That's the recommendation.
Any additional comments or questions? Is this what we'd like to go with, board? Okay.
Wait, 4?
It would be number 4, but
But it's unsatisfactory. We don't want
it's
that.
going to be unacceptable.
Yeah,
It's going to be
okay.
with the change of unacceptable, 3 being acceptable, 1 being unacceptable.
Yes.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. C's to get degrees, is that what they say? Right.
Okay, this is great. We've made it through. If we can just get a motion to approve the scoring.
So I'd like to file a motion for option number 4 with the exception, with the change of number 1 to be unacceptable as opposed to unsatisfactory.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Is there any further discussion? If none, properly moved and seconded. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
I just want to make sure before we vote that everybody clearly understands this, so we're not back at the table doing this again. Because it took a lot for this team to get us to this place. But let's not just vote because we want to move forward, but clearly, because when it comes time for us to, go ahead and score these, we want to make sure that everybody's clear and understand. If we're good there, then I'm ready to move forward. But I just want to make sure that we're taking it, and understanding what this means. And if we have any questions, now is the time to ask.
Thank you. Yes, Mrs. Smith.
Sorry.
So will all the questions that apply, will all of these options fit with the questions that are asked on the survey?
Yes.
Okay.
I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Mercer.
Yes, so with the vote that or the motion that we have right now, did that make a change to change number 2 to need some improvement or no change to that one?
What it is
Wait.
option 3 is acceptable. Option 1 is unacceptable. That would be the changes to the option 4 category.
I thought we talked about. Mr. Chair, I thought we did actually talked about needs some improvement because it wasn't saying you're the worst, but some, and I thought it was a good mediated word to not say it's the worst, but there are some knowing that there could be some positive improvement.
Okay, so let me go over this again. 5 being excellent, 4 being good, 3 being acceptable, 2 being needs some improvement, and then 1 unacceptable. Is that what we agreed upon on the board?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think I need to adjust my motion also. So I want to correct my motion. So the motion is to accept option 4 with number 2 saying needs some improvement and number 1 saying unacceptable.
And I think your seconder was Ms. Hunter. Are you okay with?
Ms. Hunter, are you okay with that for a second? Thank you. Okay. Any additional questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate this. So the next steps are that the writer survey is going to be released on Monday, and it will go through March 13th. Once we receive the responses, we will compile those, and you will receive your new and improved evaluation tool and the responses from the writers. So you will hear directly from them to be able to influence your evaluation. We will come back here and give you the final report, and then we will submit that report to the Commission for Transportation Disadvantaged by the June 30 deadline. So thank you very, very much. And it's back in your hands, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, thank you. I guess we're at presentations and status report, correct? Okay. Miss Kim Fry. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Before I get started with the presentation, I would like to introduce a new customer service manager who hit the ground running, Miss Yessie Riviera. I have seen some great things already in the past 6 weeks with her and some of the changes. We still got some things to work on, but her and her team have been doing amazing. I did update the presentation just slightly. I made it smaller, but if you want to see more, I'm just working in progress, trying to give you exactly what you want, straight and forward to the point without all the, but if that's what you want, I'm cool with that too. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the trips. I took the current fiscal year quarter and then compared it to the last fiscal quarter. We have a 7% increase in trips this current quarter, this fiscal year. And our on-time performance has had a slight decrease of 0.2 compared to the same time period last year. The trips by purpose, again, it's increased. The only thing that's decreased for the same time is nutritional, but it was a slight decrease. Customer service activity. This seemed to be a great big discussion during the QATF last time in this meeting. So the team and we did some really great things, mostly my team. I have an awesome team. You will see that the calls have increased by about 12% compared to the exact same time period. And then the speed of answer, which some of us, it's actually hold time, but in our current system that we use in our reports, They call it the speed of answer. Our current report, when it says hold time, it's actually when we pick up the phone and we say, okay, let me go check on that. Then we put you on hold. So that's what our current reporting system shows. So the big thing is the speed of answer. We have seen an improvement from last fiscal year quarter to the same time. The big thing that seemed to be conversation was the peak time. We were able to get the numbers for the peak time for the first fiscal quarter for 2026. I just noticed I put 2025. It's actually 2026. I apologize. So peak time is 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. We are currently averaging 4.9%. The go is 3%. The exciting news with our new customer service manager, she has really been digging in. In January, our call time was less than 3 minutes. It was 2.46%. This month alone, it's still under 2%. One of the major changes that we did, or not me, it was her and her team, the callback feature. That was one of the very last things to choose after you listen to all of this stuff. So her and her team, they moved it up. So that is part of the improving the average speed of time. You're not having to sit there forever waiting for somebody to pick up the phone. We're now calling you back. They are still tweaking that and looking at the different maps and the different things that we can continue to improve the customer service experience. Comparison of actual costs versus paid invoice amount. This is last calendar year. As it appears, we are still, the invoice is much less than what the actual cost of the trip is. That is not new. It's always been that way. I'm assuming everywhere I've been, it's been that way, but I haven't went back in the history to see it. But again, we've had a significant increase in the number of requests for trips. On-time performance remains right around 89.3. I have seen an increase this past January and also this month. Hopefully we'll continue seeing that improvement. New vehicles have finally started rolling in. We continue to have them rolling in. I still have 71 to come in. And then we're also in the process of ordering 45 more. So fingers crossed by the end of the year, this calendar year, first of the next calendar year, we'll have almost completely a new fleet. Also, we continue to have dedication of the 3 minutes, but we are meeting it in January and so far this month. I believe we're continue seeing some improvements on that as well, as Jessie and her team continue to find different ways to improve it. That is my presentation. Again, if you want more added to it, just let me know exactly what you're looking for. But I hope I targeted exactly what you guys are wanting to see. Straight and to the point.
So Mr. Chair, if I may, I would like to just pause for just a moment for those members who are new, just to call attention to the report that Kimberly just gave and those stats that she shared with you. Those are the stats that you use to evaluate them. So that's why they come every month and tell you where they are. So you reported that the on-time performance is 89.3. The goal is
90%.
90% for the committee. The call hold time goal is
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So as you are hearing these reports, that also helps you in your evaluation by getting this information directly from them, because there's not really another report that comes out. And you hear these 4 times a year, okay? And if there's anything that you are interested in hearing more of, Kimberly and her team, such as eligibility, how does that happen? What happens? What does that process look like? In order for you to evaluate it, we want you to know how that happens. So if you're interested in a presentation, we're happy to bring that to you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Ms. Fry, and your new team leader. It looks like things are going very well. I cannot wait for the next report. Just the simple thing of moving the call back up the ladder a little bit certainly seems to help. So that's great. Anybody here on the board has any questions or comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry. When you all are calling people back, are you reaching 100% of those individuals And if not, how are you all tracking those that you don't reach?
So I'm going to try to answer that, and the team will correct me if I answer it the wrong way. The callbacks, when you choose that, it automatically just stays in the queue for that. And then when they are ready to take another call, it just rings back. It just picks, it's just there. Correct? Yes. Yeah. And I'm not sure if we can get stats that way to show if there was a dropped call, basically, is what it would be called. But I can look at that.
So we don't know if we're reaching it.
Again, I guess that would be called a dropped call. Is that what we consider that, Salida? If it doesn't reach them back? Okay. Good point. I will do some more research. That's actually when you guys start asking questions, that's also how the team was able to find the callback thing and change that. So I'll write that down and we'll look into that and try to find some stats on that.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. That was a great question, and we look forward to that information coming back to us. Mr. Malia?
Yeah, thank you. Last meeting, I guess it was, mentioned the call hold times and how it was kind of disastrous waiting. I try to call balls and strikes as I see them. It has been significantly better. And to answer your question, I will say that they do call back at least every time that I've hit the #1 option for them to call me back. The 2 times that I have missed the call, I want to blame it on my phone and not them, because the phone just didn't ring. I would have gladly put a doctor on hold, because not many of us get that opportunity to answer the call, and I looked down and they'd already called. But I will blame that on an old guy with a cell phone that, it should have rang, but it didn't. But yeah, no, the only suggestion I would maybe make is, and I don't know if that kicks in, if the option 1 kicks in automatically or only when there's a longer call hold time. But the information that's currently being provided about Seminole County, if the option is put in before, if you are able to figure out if there is a call hold time, a long call hold time, put that first before you give all the information about Seminole County. Other than that, I will say that it's significantly better than it was in the fall. And my recollection of most of 2025.
Thank you very much for those comments, and we appreciate that, because you're in it, you're using the system, so thank you so very much. Yes, Ms. Mercer, you have a comment or question?
Yes, please. I just wanted to kind of clarify something on the slide called actual cost versus paid invoice, just for my understanding of what the slide shows. When we say paid invoice amount, are we talking about the reimbursement that the TD Commission provides? Okay. Okay.
So I can change that as well. I don't know how long we've been doing it, but we can call it reimbursement amounts.
Okay. Like TD reimbursement amount?
Mhm.
Okay. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Hi, can you remind us how large your call taker team is?
We have 31 staff members, but that's between our window, that's between our NeighborLink, that's between our fixed route, and that's between paratransit. And they all can crisscross, and they're awesome. But the go usually is around 16 to 21 people for paratransit.
Any additional questions or comments?
One here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Barrett.
Just wanted to ask, with that team, what is the retention like with your team?
We do not have a large turnover. Everybody, for the most part, works from home. And they enjoy it. So we do not have a large turnover. Now, I've only been here for 5 months. I've not seen a turnover. We've had somebody just retire. But that's usually what it seems like, at least listening to my staff and the history. It seems like it's when people retire.
Good,
Yeah.
good. So that success you're getting, you can sustain it. That
Yes.
team is sticking together. So good.
Yeah.
Ms. Berry?
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm, you said your peak time is 8 AM to 5 PM?
For, yes,
Okay, and then I have one more question. This is a new phone system, correct?
the 5.9, I don't know how new, it is new.
Okay, so compare it, when was it in? Okay. What was it? I think I'm confused. Didn't something just change? You weren't here yet, Kimberly. What did we just change? Like something was recently changed, right? Or installed or updated. What was that? Is that the only thing? Am I the only one remembering? Okay, all right. Thank you.
Other than, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, may I respond?
Ms. Wright, did
Other-
you have a question? I knew you lied on earlier.
Oh, that was my only question.
Okay, thank you.
So you may be referring to the option to be in a callback queue, which is what she was talking about earlier. That's the only other thing that I'm aware of that changed. Yes. That option was way down in the list of options.
Yeah.
And they moved it up to the top. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, your notes will have.
If there's no additional questions coming, thank you so very much.
Thank
We
you so
can't wait for the next report. Looks like we're working the numbers to get them where we want to, and we appreciate you and your team's efforts in that. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Next up, we have the 2025 TDLCB Membership Attendance Report.
Mr. Chair, we do have one more presentation, and this comes as a
Which one?
result of Scout.
Where did I miss that? Oh, I missed. Oh,
Yeah.
God. I apologize. I will get better. You can rate me later. Hopefully my numbers will go up.
It won't be exemplary.
It won't be exemplary, right? I'm so sorry. We have a progress report from Mr. Lee. Please, sir.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Okay, so basically, I'm going to give you a major update on the Scout service performance and the existing issues and the solutions we have. So basically, the Scout is starting on October 15. So we have already 4 months available data right now. So you'll see from here is that from November, we have around 18,000 passengers. And for January, it increased to almost 24,000, okay? So the total rides is increased from around 16,000 to 21,000. The average wait time, so in November, it is around 29 minutes. However, because since the links is putting out from the county, we see a significant demand coming in. So that's why our average wait time is increasing to 45 minutes. So that's a 50% increase. Regarding the customer service rating, we have pretty consistent at 4.79, and for January, we have 4.78. And for the cost per passenger, it decreased because we see the passengers going up. So that's why the cost per passenger is decreasing from 21 to 19.8. And our fare box recovery is increasing from 14% to 14.7%. So because when we design Scout, we would like to help our vulnerable population. So that's why we have these discount categories population. We have the low income, the student, the seniors, the persons with disabilities, and access links users. So you can see from November to January, the most significant increase is from the student category. It's increased by 82%. Also for the low income, it increased from the 2,600 to more than 4,000. That's a 49% increase. And also for the access links users, it increased from 445 to 564. It is almost 27 increase. So basically, the total vulnerable population, we see that increased from 36% to 41%. So the biggest issue, as I just said, is because we have a pretty long average wait time. So that's why we have implemented several solutions. The first thing is that we implement a wait time planner for pre-trip planning. So basically, we have a website. You can go there, input your start location, your end location, and the date you decide to have your trip. It will show you by every hour of the day how many minutes you are going to expect to wait. And also, we have expanded fleet by 7 vans and added more drivers in January 2026. And the other thing we have done is that we restricted the daily rider cancellations to 2, so to optimize our dynamic routing. And also, we secured FDOT grant for further expansion that will be taking effective after July 2026. And we also have several other enhancement operational optimizations. So the other thing is that we received several requests about organizations because they want to help the vulnerable populations. So that's why we created a corporate account for them. Basically, if they have a corporate account, they can use their own credit card to buy tokens, and then they can distribute these tokens to each individual they would like to help. Just as links, they give passes to their vulnerable populations too. So until now, we already have 3 organizations already set up their corporate account. So that's why they can help their clients. One question we received is about access links. Is still available? Yes, it's still available. However, because of the links pulling out of the service, so that's why the 3/4 mile buffer of the fixed route has significantly reduced. So you see from the left to the right is the reduction of the 3/4 mile buffer of the links service. And so for those service they do not serve, the fare is going to increase from $4 to $7.5. So how to enjoy the best benefit from Scout? So if you still live within the 3/4 mile buffer of the links route and you travel to the 3/4 mile buffer of the links route, you still pay $4. However, if you either leave or go to the place that outside of 3/4 mile buffer, you pay $7. So if you want to enjoy the best benefit from Scout, we have something that you can use Scout to transfer to the Ultimate Springs Central Station, and from there you can use access links. Then it will cost you about $4.5 per one-way trip. Okay, so that's of end of my presentation. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Lee? Yes, Ms. Cooper.
It's on? Okay. So you talked about an expansion in the fleet. Is part of that expansion vehicles that are more accessible?
Yes.
With increased accessibility, and also the second part for DOT, you talked about some enhancements. Can you give us an idea of what some of those enhancements are?
So basically, we have 2 types of vehicle. One is the Volkswagen ID bus. That one is not ADA accessible, but we also have 10 vehicles. That is the Sienna, Toyota Sienna. We have revamped that. They has a back end. There's a ramp. You can push the wheelchair to the ramp and then get secured in the area. That ones are ADA accessible. So for the FDOT one, we secured the FDOT Service Development Grant that will take effective in July. So we are expecting to get another probably up to 8 vehicles at that time.
What percentage of that 80 would be accessible? Like
that we are going to get another 2 to 3 vehicle ADA accessible vehicle. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm just curious, it seems to be a high increase with students. How are we defining students? Are these students that are in post-secondary education and going to training? How is that being defined?
So any person that is 17 years old and younger, they are qualified as students. Yes, a student. Yes. If you are older than that, you can provide us your either the student ID then we can still qualify you. Yeah.
So this mode of transportation is being utilized for students that say are still in high school? Or
Yes,
younger?
we have some. There's an Elevation High School. I think that's private one. We already set up a corporate account with them, so they can sign out tokens to their individual students, so they can ride the Scout. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, Ms. Mercer.
Thank you for providing this update. Just so that we kind of all have a feel for how to read I think this is your first or second slide that has all of the overview of Scout service. For the total passengers carried, that's a cumulative number, right? That's
Yes.
not okay.
That's by monthly numbers.
So does this mean that for November, in November, you carried 18,000 and in December, you carried 19,000 people?
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure because
It's not accumulative. It's month by month.
it's month by month. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh, Ms. Baldwin, please.
Can you tell us what concerns you're hearing from riders? And if it's in your report, I'm sorry, I didn't know it, but what concerns are you hearing, if any?
Yes, the most concern definitely is about the wait time. So the wait time, as I said, before we implement the service, we did not expect that the passengers are coming from non-previous links riders. We see a significant number for that. So that's why initially we did not take that into consideration very good. So that's why we have to get more vehicles and more drivers to accommodate that demand. Yeah. Other than that, I think the other thing is about they're talking about some kind of probably safety concerns. So some drivers probably they do aggressive driving, something like that. We received the comments about that. So for each time we receive the comments, we have our team to investigate and make sure that it really happens. And then we are going to coach the drivers and discipline the drivers and up to the dismissal. Yeah.
Then as a follow-up, please, what type of sensitivity and safety training do your vehicle operators undergo?
So the vehicle drivers, I think right now they have coming through their internal safety training. So to the exact point what they are getting trained, I need to get more information from the freebie team. So I can give you the information next time. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ms. Baldwin, are you done? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Beard.
Okay, I have a quick question. The slide House Scout helps vulnerable population. Are these unduplicated riders? Or where you're giving your count, the one where your vulnerable population, are they unduplicated riders?
No, these are the total rides, not unduplicated riders. These are total rides.
So these are rides,
Yes,
not riders.
So each time you ride, it counts. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I understand. So like for January, total passengers were 23,539. Those are unduplicated individuals or?
No, that's total rides.
I'm confused. The total passenger says 23,539. Total ride says 20,908. So I'm asking where it says passengers, where it's 23,000. Those are 23,539 individuals that are.
23 is the individual passengers. The rides means if you ride the vehicle, it possibly have more than one passengers. So that's why you see the different numbers. So for example, if this ship carries 2 passengers, then you have 2 passengers, but for the ride, it's only 1 ride.
Would that be like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but would that be like a rider and a companion or a personal care attendant? Is that what you're saying? Or are you overlapping rides and share ride?
Yes.
Where you've got one person going in the same general direction as someone else. So you pick a second person up and then.
Yes. That's right. So during the ride, you can pick up passengers during the way. So that's why sometimes they can have 2 or 3 passengers on the same ride. Yeah.
So if I look at January, where you had 23,539 passengers, and then I go to the vulnerable population page, and that totals 8,641, which is a small percentage. So a small percentage of our vulnerable population is riding this. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, this 4,000 is the ride. Means every time these low-income riders ride, that's count a ride.
But I totaled all of our vulnerable population, and it's like 30-something%. I'm just trying to figure out if they're the same people, if it's me going here, here, and here, or if this is unduplicated. But I don't.
Unduplicated. So each time you ride, you count once.
So none of these are about the passengers. This is all about the ride.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Oh,
that's right.
confusing.
Yes.
Okay. I'm confused still.
Yeah, no, I think I should be more clear about this. Thank you.
I'm not clear.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Next time I will make a better table for this. Yeah.
Your riders rather than ride.
Yes. That's the first. Yes.
But I think the point, I'm looking at our vulnerable population, all categories, and very few are taking advantage, are not included in this service. I think that's where I'm going with it. If your numbers are accurate, the vulnerable population is very low compared to the number of what you have passengers on this page. I think that's where my concern lies.
Yeah, it's the 41%. That's the number we have. Yeah. The last one. Yeah.
So what you say, Mr. Lee, is 41% of the riders are vulnerable riders?
Yeah, 40% of the rides are ridden by vulnerable populations. Yes.
Ms. Berry, any additional questions? You sure? Okay. Mr. Malia?
Yes, just for my education. So if I'm a person with a disability that lives in Seminole County, but I have to go to a doctor's office or work or school in Orange County, I would take one of your vehicles to the Altamont station, and then I would have to wait for a pickup from there to my destination. And I assume that would be the same going home?
Yes, that's correct. If you want to save money, but you can also take the links with your home to Orange County with $7. 2 ways. If you want to pay the full fare, $7. If you want to save money, you have to make a transfer at Altamont Spring Sunrail Station. Yeah.
Now, what if I live near one of those few remaining bus lines and I'm within that 3/4 of a mile? Then it would be $4.
Yes, exactly right.
And what is the wait time, once you get to the Altamont Sunrail station for your pickup to your next destination?
So for the extra links, I believe you call ahead to make a request, right? And then they will give you a time window, right? So that's why you should get to the Altamont Spring station with Scout earlier than that. Then you can ensure a good transfer.
So you have to make 2 calls then. You have to make a call to you to get to the Sunrail. Then you have to make another call before 5 o'clock the day before to get picked up.
That's right. You're right.
I can tell you why the number of disabled riders is so low. That just is not going to work for most of my clients, and I can assume the patients and individuals that I ride with on occasion going to and from work wouldn't be able to do that or couldn't do that either physically, medically, or just lifetime time constraints. So that's a concern to me for that population in Seminole County.
You good, sir?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I apologize.
Commissioner Ruby? No.
So appreciate the presentation. And I've been actually watching this now for a few months, and I saw how the commission decided to try this, and I don't know how many people are aware of their process. What they were paying for Lynx buses was just, it was going crazy. And they were subsidizing something that they couldn't get any tangible numbers of who was actually riding the bus. So, and quite honestly, I go to a lot of conferences and you're starting to see people be creative with taxpayer dollars and how to get point to point. I think we all represent a much more sensitive area. And so, and it's a lot of information. This is the first time I've ever heard the presentation. So thank you. So we don't want to beat you up. Like, it's not your fault. You didn't create Scout, but I do know immediately they've looked at a cost savings of up to like $12 million. I mean, Seminole County went from 5 million to 12 million to $17 million in like 3 years. And that's not sustainable. So I applaud them for trying something. Doesn't mean it's perfect. And when you think, but I do want to ask a couple questions. One, why aren't you guys able to really keep track of passengers as opposed to riders, like trips? Are you guys, because I know there's like cameras and stuff. Have you guys looked at that?
No, because the freebie or service provider, they have the software. Every time they book a ride, they know where exactly they're going to and from and which vehicle they are on. So that's why it's easy for them to pull out the data and give it to us.
Okay, so why isn't freebie, actually capturing how many people? Because one of the comments is, I may travel with a companion. Are we ride sharing? Do we work together? I mean, to really have an honest conversation here, it's like you're not able, and it's not your fault. You're just not able to answer those questions that we're trying to learn more. Because so do you think that they can offer you that, considering they are keeping track of that?
Offering what? I'm sorry.
The actual passengers that are riding.
Yes, that's the first total passengers. That's the number we have.
Not the rides, the actual people in, because can't you hold up to 6, isn't it?
Yes, we are hold up to
So
6. Yes.
actually seeing how many people are traveling in these, are they not able to give you that data?
No, that's the total passengers. That's the data we have.
There's a difference between the passengers and the rides. And that's why, because sometimes there's 2 people in
Okay.
the car. So that's
Yes.
why it goes from 23,000 and change to almost 21,000 in the rides. And I think some folks may not understand, Scout was put in because we had Lynx buses that had 1 person in them. And it was a total waste of taxpayer money, which is why they did this. So it's not a replacement for Access Lynx. It's a replacement for Lynx buses. And they are trying to put vehicles in that will pick up those who need special care and all that to get on them. So and it's so new. I mean, I don't think that anybody in Seminole County knew how many people were going to ride Scout. I see it all over the place, but it only goes in Seminole County. You can't take a trip from Altamont to Metroplan. And I think that's where the difference is coming in, is that it's a Seminole County thing because they're trying to save the taxpayers in Seminole County money as opposed to having 1 person in a big bus. But they're trying to accommodate those who need, for this group of people, they're trying to accommodate. And I think they're just playing catch up right now with getting those vehicles that will accommodate anybody in a wheelchair or whatever else they need. But it's just a process.
Yes, I want to mention that for the disabled population, they can ride for 50 cents all within the whole county. 50 cents. If you book by app, if you call to book a ride, you pay $1, regardless of how many zones you are going to travel. That's for the disabled populations. Yes.
Yeah. I think what Mayor Bates is just pointed is a great point of clarity, because we don't want to misinterpret that this is trying to replace Access Links. You're
No,
actually
no, no.
trying to
So
assist,
yes.
and so I'm not gonna ask a lot of questions because I've been watching a little and I've been reading a little. And I honestly applaud a county trying to find better ways. And I know for a fact, and I think that's the point, it was to replace Lynx buses, not Access Links. And just by them doing this, they've had more riders than Lynx buses have ever had in Seminole County. And that is great. So I think we have to make sure we're measuring it. I think it'd be nice to know, hearing some of the concerns,
Sure,
maybe
definitely.
in 3 months or 6 months, like giving us an update.
Sure.
And I think, just transportation as a whole, not what we're doing here. It's awesome. I'm starting to see it in other cities across the United States. I saw something in Boston and stuff. And you're actually getting people to stop driving their cars because they're getting point to point. And it could be something that would be good. And also, Seminole County is much more suburban than us,
That's right.
But I think all of us who have ever paid attention to a Lynx bus, there's lines that we know are always full, OBT, Cimarron, things like that. But we've also seen lines in between when there's no one on it. And you're just kind of like, wow, the cost to ride a big bus over and over again and the labor is something that Seminole County said, the price keeps going up, but the usage is going down. So it's actually costing them way more per rider than what it was. So
You're exactly right.
I commend that. And I don't think that, I'm going to just speak for Orange County. This won't work everywhere, but it might be an opportunity where we don't have a Lynx bus to actually start bringing people to the Sunrail and bringing, because I always say, I'll ride a Sunrail the first day that I can get on it. It goes through a Chick-fil-A drive-through as I'm taking my, because it's just not practical. Where it drops me off, does that not make sense? But if Sunrail had point to point, because I'm only a mile away from Sunrail, that might change, So I commend you guys for you being the first victim that has to come to us. But
No. I'm good. I'm good.
but,
Yeah, yeah.
but just I want you to let your county know that I applaud them for trying something new and not going with the norm, and ultimately trying to look out for residents and actually encouraging more riders, on it. So good
Sure.
job.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Mr. Chair, if I may just call attention, we are running up against time. This is great. This is the most conversation this board has had in a very long time. I'm sure Mr. Lee would not mind staying behind if there are a couple of other questions, or you can give them to staff and we will get them from him. We do have a quality assurance task force meeting that is immediately after this one. And so
Is that okay, Mr. Smith? You okay with that, sir? Okay, thank you. We'll do that. It looks like there's about 2,500 multiple passengers on the rides. If you divide the 23 to that, it's about 2,500 that have multiple passengers in the month of January. Mr. Lee, thank you. We look forward to
Thank you.
getting more information as the time comes. And yeah, please come visit us anytime. I've got water and coffee.
No problem. Thank you.
All on me. Okay, with that, now I can go to the general information items, correct? Yes. All right, 2026 QATF and TDLCB meeting schedule. And 2025 TDLCB member attendance report. Upcoming meetings of interest. Metroplan Orlando board meeting will be March 11th, right here in the same location, but it's at 9 a.m. The Transportation Disadvantage Local Coordination Board meeting is Thursday, May 12th at 10 a.m. Are there any final comments from any of the members here? Okay. We have now reached the second opportunity for public comments. Comments heard at this point in this meeting are more of the general nature. Similar to the first public comment period, comments may be made in person, online, or those joining us via Zoom.
Mr. Chairman, may I say, I'm so sorry to break in. May 12th is a Tuesday, May 14th is a Thursday.
Thank you for looking at that. So this will be May 14th. I did not see that typo.
I just was making sure I'm coming in.
thank you. It is correct on your schedule, but that was a typo. Thank you for calling that to attention.
Members of the public joining us virtually who wish to speak may use the raise your hand feature on the Zoom screen. If attending by phone, you can hit *9 to raise your hand and request to be recognized. When you're called, staff will unmute your microphone and will ask you to state your name and contact information for the record. Is there anyone online wishing to comment on these action items, Rachel?
We have no hands raised online and I have received no comments from the room.
That's great. Have we been anything submitted by email?
None received.
Okay, great. Our next meeting is May 14th. Got it. And that's at 10 a.m. here at Metro Plan Orlando. Please be on the lookout for the CTC evaluations and respond accordingly.
Mr. Chair, before you adjourn, those new members who are joining us for the first time today, if you will, please stay behind for like 3 minutes. Ms. Marianne Horn would like to get a photo of you so that we can spotlight you and want to say thank you for joining us today.
And just one thing I will add, yes, I was, well, okay, exemplary is pushing it, but
I'll get better.
You did a great job and we really appreciate you.
Well, yeah, I certainly appreciate this group. It warms to my heart. I actually own 3 autistic schools, so I'm continually working on doing better for those folks. And this is a great way to participate.
Good.
If there's no other business, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Great job.